Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Flavors and Knowledge, the podcast where we explore food, culture, and history, one delicious bite at a time. I'm your host, Chef Walter, and this episode, we are diving into a holiday that's as vibrant as it is meaningful. It's called Purim. Now, if you love a good feast, costumes, and a story of survival and triumph, well, this podcast is probably for you. Well, let's begin by setting the scene. We are in ancient Persia during the reign of King Ahasuerus, most likely Xerxes I. Our story comes straight from the Book of Esther, and trust me, it's got everything from heroes, villains, suspense, and even a dramatic last-minute rescue. And of course, who's the villain in this case? Haman, the king's top advisor, who's harbored a deep hatred for the Jewish people, especially Mordecai, who refuses to bow to him. And so, what does Haman do? He convinces the king to issue a decree for the destruction of the Jews, choosing a date by casting lots, what in Hebrew is called pur, which is where we get the name Purim. But all of a sudden, our heroine enters, Queen Esther. Now the king does not know that she's Jewish, but with the help of her cousin Mordecai, Esther hatches a plan. She courageously reveals her identity, pleads for her people, and flips the script. The king sides with Esther. Haman meets his fate on the very gallows he built for Mordecai, and the Jewish people are saved. Talk about poetic justice, huh? Now, friends, Purim is not just about remembering this miraculous survival. It's about celebrating it in the most joyous way possible. Think of it as a mix between a carnival, a feast, and a grand theatrical performance. And what a celebration would be if there wasn't any food. So let's dive into some Purim traditions. First, we have the reading of the Megillah, the Book of Esther, twice during Purim. But here is the twist. Every time Haman's name is mentioned, the crowd erupts in boos, cheers, and the rattling of graggers, those festive noisemakers. It's a bit like being at a lively theater show where the audience gets to participate. Then, of course, there is the costumes. People dress up as Queen Esther, Mordecai, or just about anything from superheroes to fairy tale characters. And why? Well, some say it symbolizes how the Purim miracle was hidden, just like God's name is never directly mentioned in the Book of Esther. And of course the food. I forgot about that. The start of the Purim table is amantashen, delicious triangular pastries filled with poppy seeds, fruit preserves, and even chocolate. And the legend has it that the shape represents Haman's three-corner hat. And let's not forget the Purim feast. It's a time for gathering with family and friends over a meal filled with laughter and traditionally a bit of wine. In fact, the custom is to drink until you cannot tell the difference between cursed be Haman and blessed be Mordecai, though let's be responsible about this anyways. Purim is also about generosity. Mishloach manot is the tradition of sending gifts basket of food to friends. And then we have matanot lahevonim, given to those in need so that no one is left out of the festivities. And for you listeners, please forgive my Hebrew pronunciation. I'm terrible at that. For an extra dose of fun, many communities put on a Purim spiels, humorous, often satirical plays, retelling the story of Esther with plenty of jokes and laughter. It's all about spreading joy and celebrating resilience. Now, dear listeners, mark your calendar. Purim 2025 begins at sundown on March 13th and continues through March 14th. In Jerusalem, they celebrate an extra day. It's called Shuhan Purim because of an extended battle in the original story. So, if you find yourself in the Holy City, expect the festivities to last just a little bit longer. Purim may be a Jewish holiday, but its themes are universal. It reminds us that courage can change the course of history, that standing up against injustice matters, and that sometimes the biggest miracles are hidden in plain sight. And of course, that food, family, and laughter are some of life's greatest joys. As we wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to try making a hamantashen, send a gift basket to a friend, or just take a moment to celebrate the victories, big or small, that have shaped your own life. After all, Purim is about finding light, even in the darkest moment. If you need a recipe for the hamantashen, contact us here at Flavors and Knowledge, and we'll provide a tested version for you, so that you can try it in your own kitchen with plenty of time. I want to thank you for joining me on Flavors and Knowledge today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with a fellow food lover. Until next time, please stay curious, stay hungry, and as always, happy life.
Experience the richness of Italy with Chef Walter's sustainable culinary tours, where food, wine, history, and culture come together in an unforgettable journey. Designed by the chef himself, these exclusive tours take travelers beyond the typical tourist path, offering authentic experiences in Italy's most celebrated regions. Savor locally sourced cuisine, taste world-class wines straight from the vineyards, and explore historic sites that tell the story of Italy's culinary heritage. With a focus on sustainability, Chef Walter has hand-picked partners who prioritize tradition, quality, and environmental responsibility. Join a tour that's more than just a trip. It's a deep dive into Italy's soul. Reserve your spot today and indulge in an extraordinary culinary adventure.